have arrived. And so has the day. Derby Day. For the racing purists, it's truly special. There's the feature, the Penfolds Victoria Derby. To know how treasured it is, we need to only say Farlap won it. That was back in the time of black and white, which on Derby Day is a theme that sweeps tradition into the pulsing age of modern racing. From the horses to catwalks, the birdcage to humans doing as humans do. This is the moment we open the door to an event like no other in Australian sport, the magical Melbourne Cup Carnival. Four dazzling meetings. There's now
Mad Toys from Sharp and Smart.
Then Tuesday, when the nation stops and roars for the Lexus Melbourne Cup.
They're off in the cup.
On Thursday, the best 3-year-old fillies in the Kennedy Oaks.
She's Extreme coming clear.
Then a week from now, Tab Champions Stakes Day. The final 3 of 8 Group 1 races for the carnival. A carnival of emotions that swirl from Flemington across Australia and beyond. It's brilliant, epic, elegant, at times chaotic and filled with drama we cannot script. And it's here now. This is Penfolds Victoria Derby Day. Don't look away, because seeing is believing.
Welcome to Melbourne, Australia, wherever you're watching around the world. I'm Adam Peacock and this is the Melbourne Cup Carnival preview show, and it's great to have the company of the 3 people next to me, starting with Grace Ramage, a racing analyst, and what a week we've got ahead. We circle it on the calendar every year and now it's here.
Yeah, I've got goosebumps, to be honest, watching what we just watched at the top of the program there. Cannot wait for what is an outstanding week ahead of us.
And racing analyst Britt Taylor is here as well. This, if we're kids, this is Christmas Eve.
It is. It completely is Christmas Eve. I'm going to be staying up all night just like I would as a kid. Right from Derby Day all the way through to Champions Day. We are so, so lucky with the horse flesh we are going to witness.
And the centrepiece, of course, Glenn Boss, is the Lexus Melbourne Cup. Yep. You've got 3 of them on the mantelpiece at home, and history is about to be repeated again.
Yeah, it's my favourite subject, and just watching Mark Zara last year, you just see the excitement and the emotion when this actual event happens to you personally.
Yeah.
And someone's about to write their own story this year.
And an amazing week of racing, 37 races, 26 of them are black type and 8 are Group 1s. Grace Ramage, and over $30 million in prize money. There's something for everyone each and every day.
The racing, in terms of what we see on the track, does not stop, and we know that Melbourne Cup Week is not just about what happens on the track. It is going to be a sensational 4 days, and personally, the final day of the carnival has been reinvigorated now as Champions Day, and 3 amazing Group 1 weight for age races. Can't wait for that too.
And it was launched in style early in the week with Flemington looking at its absolute best.
Have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think I've ever seen the Flemington Racecourse look so beautiful. This is the race that stops a nation.
I love that everyone embraces it. It's not just a sporting event. It's all about a lifestyle. And, you know, it's a public holiday in Victoria, that people come to the Cup, or they'll have Cup Day lunches. You know, it's really a national event, very much a people's event.
You can wander around, enjoy the day of racing entertainment, see the fashion, see people. It's just an experience you can't get anywhere else.
But always when you walk into Flemington, it's got that special feeling as a jockey and never changes.
I think it's the climax for the year for me and probably most jockeys. You know, obviously it's the Melbourne Cup, but the whole week is a huge event. You know, to be a part of it and hopefully with some good rides and maybe a winner or two, the most exciting part of the year and certainly the week for us.
And we do want to see Damien Oliver ride a winner or two, given it's his last, the legendary Australian jockey. But Grace, Britt and Bossy want a highlight each, okay? And Grace, you have the honour of going first.
Really tough to just highlight, one individual event over the 4 days of the Melbourne Cup Carnival. But I'm going with the Coolmore Stud Stakes, which is the first Group 1 of the 8 that you referenced. Derby Day, race 6 on the program. It is a stallion-making race, and it takes a top-class 3-year-old down the Flemington Straight, the 6 furlongs, to be winning this race. Champions win this race.
Yeah.
Stallions win this race. So a lot on offer, a lot at stake, and it's going to be my highlight for the week.
Britt?
Well, Grace is going early. I have to be patient and wait till the end of the week because I think we're saving the best until last, and that is Imperatrice in the Champions Sprint. We know what she's done at Moonee Valley. Track records there. Flemington's obviously a different beast and takes on In Secret, who we know handles Flemington. So I think it's the clash of the week.
Yeah, and potentially the world's best sprinter in Imperatrice, the New Zealand trained mare. Bossy?
Well, a simple one for me, the Cup. I can't wait to see Vivan in the flesh.
Yeah.
I've seen him gallop here, but I actually haven't seen him in the flesh, so I can't wait to see him walk into that parade.
And do you like seeing as well how they go about their celebrations after the Cup as well? Because you did it so well 3 times in a row.
Yeah, that's all part of it. We keep that one under the lid.
Well, you didn't during it. I remember seeing you after the third one. That's fantastic. But my highlight is the fact that, given the last few years and COVID and restrictions and everything, this feels like the first year where Melbourne can, as we say down here, really open the shoulders and really embrace the Cup Carnival once again and enjoy themselves as well. Because it has been tough, let's be honest. But this year, there's a buzz about the joint again.
I think Melbourne does it better than everyone else.
Yeah.
I promise you. They just come out and they really enjoy it and they showcase their amazing city.
Well, after the break, we're going to talk about how the race has changed with the international influx. But as we go to the break, let's relive some of the great Melbourne Cup moments.
Trip is going to win the Lexus Melbourne Cup. Gold Trip wins it in a real staying contest for the ages. It's Jeremy's Melbourne Cup, but safely narrows the bleed. Kingston Raw riding with the spirit of Jason. Gizcrop, the Irish horse to win the Melbourne Cup. History is Flemington for Self-Pay. They hit the line, a photo finish between Dunedin and Ritcado, nothing in it. Feud has got it by a nose. Bart has won the Melbourne Cup for the 12th time. The Blue Army have done it last. Oh, McLear's won it for Australia in Group 1s. And now, the greatest of them all. American is coming away. American Trevian. It's shocking to win the Melbourne Cup from Crime Scene. He's mowing them down out wide. It's Cleary won the Melbourne Cup again. And then in the Melbourne Cup. Japan 1-2. What a champion becomes a legend. But Cody Debra's won it. It is the greatest Melbourne Cup win of all time.
It's a truly international event, and it's 30 years ago when it changed forever, the Lexus Melbourne Cup. And it was all thanks to this horse, Vintage Crop, in 1993 for Dermot Weld. He was back again in 2002 with Media Puzzle and Damien Oliver, a famous day at Flemington. Then it was Japan's turn in 2006, 1-2 Delta Blues just edging out Pop Rock. France got involved in 2010, Americain, the mighty stallion, and then Dunedin in 2011. Over to 2014, a dominant win for Protectionist and Andreas Voller. And then it really changed. The lightly weighted European 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds by Australian time, 2017 Rekindling, 2018 Cross Counter finally for Godolphin, and 2020 a wonderful front-running ride for Jai McNeil. Let's have a look at this year's order of entry without a fight, which was an international runner last year. Now under the guise of Anthony and Sam Freedman, the Caulfield Cup winner. We've got 6 internationally trained horses, including Latochka, which hasn't had a run down here in Australia. We've got 2 for Joseph O'Brien, who has 2 cups so far. He's looking for Valiant King and Akita Sushi. And then 5 down the bottom, hoping to get into the Lexus Melbourne Cup on Derby Day. And Bossy, it's changed forever. It's never going to revert back. What has it done for the Lexus Melbourne Cup, having these internationals?
Oh, and you're 100% right. It changed our race forever. It's now a truly international event. I think about Frankie Dettori, who's arguably the greatest jockey we've ever seen in history, who's won every race around the world multiple times, and it's the one race that really hurt him, that he hasn't won a Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, just missed out in 2015. I'm sure Michelle Payne is really sympathetic given what happened then with Frankie on Max Dynamite. And Britt, we've got Vauban this year, the favourite. I mean, he was here earlier in the week at Breakfast with the Stars and looked pretty good.
Well, didn't he get the tongues wagging? Everybody wanted to talk about Vauban from Tuesday morning from this work at Flemington. He worked over 1,600 metres and dashed up the last 400 in sub 24 seconds. So a searching gallop for him, and probably no surprise given he hasn't raced since August. It amazes me how these Europeans train.
Yeah, well, let's have a listen to the man that Willie Mullins, the trainer, has got down here looking after his two runners, including Vauban and David Casey.
It'd be huge, it'd be extra special, you know, it'd be definitely probably our biggest flat achievement anyway, you know. To come this far across the world and to take home the race would be absolutely brilliant.
And this is the same morning, Listochka, which didn't quite get tongues wagging as much, but up the straight, having a look at Flemington, which is absolutely a factor. The former French-trained mare, now with Mick Price. This is what Mick had to say.
She had a good look around because she was by herself this morning here, but come race day, you know, she'll just slot in. She's had 12 starts, she knows what to do. She's sound, she's clean-winded, she's fit. We'll have a look at all the data from this morning's track work later on, but good gallop and come back in the mounting yard perfectly fit.
Any chance, Bossy?
Well, from what I've seen the footage, I think she's got no hope. But they've left no stone unturned. They've brought their own feed over. She's only a very small mare, so she's got a lightweight. That's going to help.
Grace, this is the hard thing, though. Trying to weigh up that with this and that from all parts of the world. It's a real factor down here.
Oh, it's such a puzzle trying to put these pieces together. But what we do know from what you've well highlighted is any international that turns up in Australia for the Melbourne Cup has to be respected. But, you know, we've got some really classy, locally trained horses. Without a Fight was so good for Anthony and Sam Freedman in the Caulfield Cup. We've got a couple of Melbourne Cup winners in the field that are firing at the moment in Vow and Declare and also Gold Trip. So it's going to be a good race, but Vauban's definitely at the top.
What do you look for with an international? A bit of ping in the profile of the horse or an out-and-out stayer?
I think both work, and we've seen that time and time again. You know, we've seen the lightly raced 3-year-olds that have got that really sharp turn of foot that can put them to the sword at the 600 metres in the straight. But then we've also seen the Max Dynamites in the past go oh so close, and that's the sort of horse that Vauban is. You know, he's got the hurdle form that is so fascinating for Australians to be winning a Melbourne Cup. So you can do either.
There's a few hurdles to overcome this week for everyone that's coming to Flemington. Let's have a look at the place where everyone wants to get in. It's the birdcage and how it was built.
30 years in any job is a lifetime for most. Try 30 years when your office chair is a 500-kilo thoroughbred travelling at 60 kilometres an hour. From a family of jockeys, this has been Damien Oliver's life. But with longevity comes a fair dose of pain and tragedy, along with triumph.
Preferment on the outside. Ollie's done it again. Preferment by a head.
The success is jaw-dropping. In Australian racing, he is the GOAT. 129 Group 1 victories. It's rarefied air.
Mystic Journey, and Colette drives through. Colette from Mystic Journey. Colette just in front. Colette, what a ride. Colette.
And here at headquarters, fabulous Flemington, he's won 3 Melbourne Cups. Doremus in 1995.
But Doremus takes the double. Doremus 3.5. Nothing like it ain't run second. Damien Oliver wins his first.
Fiorente in 2013.
Just in front of a red canoe who's coming back. Fiorente by a neck. Oliver's lifting him, and Fiorente won the Melbourne Cup again.
And the one they made a movie about, Media Puzzle, in 2002.
Beekeeper Mr. Prudent are running on from Vinnie Rowe, but it's Media Puzzle clear, and Media Puzzle. Damien and Dermot have done it. Media Puzzle beats Mr. Prudent Beekeeper.
Triumph following tragedy. Just a week prior, Damien's brother Jason died in a horse fall, just as his dad did when Ollie was just 3.
A more popular Melbourne Cup winner I don't think we've ever seen.
Australia and the world with you.
Yeah, Melbourne Cups don't mean a thing to me anymore. I'd give it back right now to have my brother back. I mean, it's so tragic to lose someone in the family so young. Never take anything for granted.
There are other layers to this story too. A lengthy suspension for betting on a rival horse, a broken spine in 1996. Resilience might be the best word to describe him. Ask his rivals, and it would be competitive. He loves to compete. 4 decades, and this Melbourne Cup Carnival, his last. He's not looking for a gold watch, just another Golden Cup.
An incredible sportsman, and he says farewell this year to the Melbourne Cup Carnival. He'll be there and thereabouts for the next few years, I dare say. But on the other side of the fence, 129 Group 1s for D. Oliver, including 6 VRC derbies, and he's looking to add to that. He's been a Derby Day specialist, of course. Let's have a look at the 3-year-old classic race and the field for this year. And it's an even one, apart from the fact that Riff Rocket is a favourite. But around that, it's really hard to line up. As always, a race over 2,500 metres, as we put it down here in Australia. And the further you get down, the further you get confused, Bossy, about what the form is, what's going to really stay. But it looks like Riff Rocket is ready to go after how he won 2 starts back in the Superimpose.
Yeah, well, you just got to trust your eye. He was simply amazing that day. That turn of speed, which is not... Most of these 3-year-olds early in their campaign, they don't have that, and he's got it. I forget the run at Caulfield. He just didn't look as sharp. He just didn't... It was more tradesman-like, but he'll get back to Flemington on those big spaces. He's got, James is just flying at the moment. He's seen it so well. There's a reason why he's favourite, and I believe he'll be winning.
And Brett, the Norman Robinson is the one that Bossy is alluding to, where, let's be honest, most of the jockeys could have actually got off the horses and ran quicker than the horses were running during the race.
It was like a trial, wasn't it? They went half pace and then just dashed up for the final couple furlongs. Riff Rocket, therefore, went in as favourite off the back of what was that very impressive win in the Superimpose, and Sunsets defeats him, and all of a sudden we start, asking questions. Is he as good as we thought he was? I think you have to look at the race look at the times of it. It was the 7th slowest race at Caulfield over 2,000 metres since 2007. That shows how slow they went. You could have ran faster.
Maybe not me, but maybe you guys as well. But Grace, you're a little biased, and it's fair enough because of your relationship with Ben Hayes as part of the training partnership, and Apulia has got a real good shot here.
He does. He's such an interesting horse coming into the Derby because this was last Saturday in the Moonee Valley Vars. They went along at a really good clip, so different to the Norman Robinson that we just looked at. This was a real stamina race with those horses that can stay to the fore. He was very strong late. That definitely stands him in good stead for the Derby, 2,500 metres on Saturday, but he has to race 3 consecutive Saturdays in a row. That's been his schedule. So, that is some sort of a query, but there's no doubt the 2,500 metres poses no risk. He's bred to stay.
Well, that's the 3-year-old stayers. Let's have a look at the 3-year-old sprinters, and this is a magnificent race. It was changed in the mid-2000s from early September as the Ascot Vale Stakes to a Group 1 Coolmore Stud Stakes, and this shapes, well, lives, basically, of horses and humans who are involved in the horses. And this is the look for the 3-year-old colts, apart from 2 fillies as well. Grace, we'll start with King's Gambit. Again, there's form from all parts here, but this was a really impressive win up in Sydney.
This is a great race, and it's my highlight of the week. King's Gambit up the inside there. This horse has got so much ability. He is so sharp. He is an absolute X-factor prospect in this race. He was so good winning the Roman Console there. Only thing that this horse has always lacked is his mental capacity to deal with situations. And a lot of the times, especially as a 2-year-old, we were seeing him undone in the mounting yard, sweating up, getting really hot, throwing his chances of winning the race away before he even stepped out on the track. But the stable looked to have him absolutely humming at the moment. His recent jump out down the straight, snagged back in behind, got some cover, dropped his head. He's a real X-factor horse for me. He can win.
There's 2 that have come from the Everest, the huge race up in Sydney, Bossy, which, you know, it is back slightly in grade, but there's one in particular you like here.
Oh, well, Cylinder has done nothing wrong this whole preparation. He started off with 2 magnificent wins, and this is his latest run here in the Everest. And wow, he's a big, strong, strapping colt, and if he steps away on terms, he's not going to be far off him, and he's a real weapon, this horse. So I can only see him, he's deep into his prep, but their best one will be their first one here. I think he can win. Yeah,
he was 2 lengths within the best sprinters in the land, the older horses as well. Shinzo and that one, the Golden Slipper winner as well. He goes around in the Coolmore stud. And also, Britt, you've got the runners out of the Caulfield Guineas, which is over a mile, stepping back in distance.
Which adds a whole nother element of intrigue into the race, doesn't it? So these horses out of the 1,600 metre Caulfield Guineas, the likes of V8, Stapati, these are the horses that, I think for V8, they've always thought this horse had a lot of brilliance, so the plan was always to come back to a Coolmore trip. But a lot of people say to win a Coolmore, you need a 7-furlong horse. It takes a really tough horse up the Flemington Straight. So that's the one thing in the favour of these horses from the Caulfield Guineas, is the fact that they've got that conditioning on their side.
Yeah, it was a good run from V8, second in that one. And then you've got the little sprinkling of fillies down the bottom as well, who lately, Grace, have a great record in this race.
Absolutely. Stretton Angel, for me, you've got Tis Invincible there as well, trained by Kira Murray and David Eustace. She brings good form too, but Stretton Angel for me is the one that we just don't know how good she is yet. We haven't seen her best. She won very impressively, beating a host of rivals that she faces again on Saturday in the Danehill down the Flemington Straight, 1,100 metres here. I Am Unstoppable, the colt back to her inside. Her last 200 metres was very strong. I think that we only just saw her get to a top late there. But I will say, Bossy, if you're a filly to win this stallion-making race, you need to be a champion filly. Like we saw In Secret do it, we've seen Sunlight do it, multiple Group 1 winning fillies. Do you think that Stretton Angel could be that?
I don't think she is. They've won 7 of the last 20 editions of this race. So, like you say, the winners are superstars, and I'm not sure if she fits that bill.
Empire Rose for the mares. Sometimes fillies run in this one as well, but not this year. It's just all mares. And we've got 2 of the highest rating horses of the week involved in this one. Alcohol Free, which has won the Sussex Stakes over in England. And you've also got Princess Grace. Britt, how do you line this up? Open race.
Yes, we need a Panadol for this one. It gives you quite a headache because there are so many converging form lines throughout this Empire Rose. I think we look at a Tissue who has the Espiona form, who we know how well Espiona's going. And I think a Tissue has to be a major chance. She went on to the King Charles, just got too far back on that occasion, so I think we could be forgiving there. And here in the Golden Pendant running second, I think she can be a huge chance on Saturday.
And Bossy, we've got these 3 Group 1s day one, and then we've got the 2 marquee races on the Tuesday, the Cup, and then the Oaks, and then Champions Day on the Saturday. What a great initiative.
Well, it's amazing. They stepped out outside their comfort zone and created this day. And it really worked last year. I mean, it was billed as match races and all that sort of stuff. And as we know, these things never work out. But regardless of that, it was an amazing day to be on course. And this year's going to be no different.
Grace, I mean, you've got the sprinters, the milers, Mr. Brightside, of course, and then you've got the mile and a quarter horses.
I mean, traditionally we had Cox Plate horses, the best of the best in Australasia and internationally, heading to the paddock after a Cox Plate. Not anymore. We can see them again on finals day, which is a massive, massive achievement for the VRC to be able to put that race day on.
Yeah, so again, the split is 3 Group 1s day one, 1 on the Tuesday, the Cup, 1 on the Thursday, the Oaks, and those 3 great Group 1s on the last day, and 26 black type races. That's why we said it's Christmas Eve right here. We're sitting right here. Are you 3 ready for this? Like, it's the biggest week in racing in Australia.
Strap me down. Strap me into the seat because it's going to be great.
I want the 1-1 trail behind you all week, Bossy. I think with the, everything that goes on. But Britt and Grace, thanks so much for the preview, and Bossy as well. We're looking forward to what we're about to see. More history created at Flemington with some of the best horse flesh in the world, the best riders and the best trainers, and some overseas raiders, which we touched on here in the Melbourne Cup preview show. Thanks for your company here at Flemington. Looking forward to a massive massive week of racing.